We've got another TFW weapon for you today. This is the Moro Laring, or Laring, however you pronounce it, either way. Got a beautiful single edge blade with a twist. Ooh, got double thrust. So every time you thrust, it's actually a double thrust. So with this one, we're gonna look at some specs as always. Take a look at this awesome handle it has on it. Specs, cut testing, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, even though it's a TFW blade, Filipino blade. Let's get to it. All right, overall length 26 1/8 inches, all the way from the very end of the puño, or the butt end of the weapon for striking, to the double tip, 26 1/8 inches. Blade length 16 inches. Notice the swept back curve, similar to a scimitar. I believe that is so you have a deeper cut as you slash through. Feels pretty good. Feels how most single edge Filipino blades work. This is a Moro Laring, so that you're thinking about the southern Philippines on this one. They have a bunch of exotic different types of blades, but what I want to look at right here is the handle. You'll see this swept up part on the pinky here. That's so you don't lose your blade when you're slashing, and also on the thrusting, as you're pulling the blade out, it's also retention on the grip. It's also teaching you to strike properly and not throw your hand forward. So it's a pretty cool blade. It feels really nice. Notice the cord wrapped on the handle. That way that keeps the grip. The back of this here, little studs. These aren't really pointy, but you do feel them on the back of the hand. So as you pull the slash through, that's allowing you to keep some grip. It's all about retention. Filipinos like to decorate their blades with different types of organic material. Sometimes you'll actually even see these in ivory. So we had the opportunity to see a bunch of beautiful handcrafted Filipino blades at the Field Museum, a private collection, myself and my other training partners at the Kali Center. And you'll actually see a lot of these handles, they'll even be ivory, like real ivory here. This one is a hardwood, just whatever hardwood they have in the Philippines. This is stained, it's a good grip, it's a single pin. This is all steel. We have a D2 tool steel, so that's allowing it to take impact on soft targets, necessary soft targets. I don't know if you'd really use this for like vegetation, because this is really more like a combat weapon. I don't know of any historical documentation of this being better. It was really just a preference. I mean, a lot of the weaponry in the Philippines, it's customized per person, depending on the balance point and the grip and everything. So those are completely individualized. So it's a pretty cool blade, the Moro Laring. All right, so the weight on this blade is 1 pound, 5.7 ounces. So it's very maneuverable when you're doing cut testing on soft targets as always. The swept back tip allows for a very fast initiation, again, when you actually know what you're doing with the mechanics. Feels really good, and it's obviously primarily a slashing weapon. Definitely more of a slashing weapon with this one. You have the thrust, of course. You have the thrust. You got the double thrust, actually. You got that little barb at the end of it. So from here, we're gonna do some cut testing. We're gonna see how sharp this is. We have this on the website just as sharp. As always, TFW does deliver when it comes to this, so we're gonna go to the cut testing now. All right, so another thing, I didn't really show the scabbard, and here's why. This scabbard is pretty warped, but you'll see that the whole back of this is open. So if you're like, oh, this looks warped, it is warped. So that's why we're beating this blade up and using it for cut testing. As you insert this back in, when this one isn't warped, this little knob right here holds the blade retention. This would usually be sandwiched shut. So that is what's keeping the retention on it. Some of the Filipino ones are actually wrapped in rattan. They were tight, so you'd be able to cut your way out of the scabbard. This one is not. It's not intended for a super fast draw. Also, you'll see here that this is starting to come apart. It's warped, so it's not gonna look like that when you get it. We make sure that we check all these beforehand, and it's not gonna look like that. All right, now let's do the cut testing. All right, so clean cut. These are semi soaked. You'll see the middle of it is still kind of dry. Really basically just use momentum on that. So we put a little bit more power to it. Let's see what it does. All the way through. Barely felt it on the cut. You'll see that slash all the way through. Let's finish it off with another slash. All the way through. So what I'm noticing, what I'm feeling as I'm pulling this through is actually, this part is not sharp. Can you see that?
Yep.
This part is actually not sharp. So I'm noticing as I'm pulling the slash through, this is actually getting caught. I would think that you would want this sharpened. Some Filipino blades have more of a back edge to them like this, but this may be for just decoration or point of balance. But I'm noticing that you feel a little bit of a pull on that. So that worked really well. As you can see, there's no damage to the blade. The oil is just what comes on it when it's shipped to us from the Philippines. There's a lot of difference in climate. That's why that scabbard was warped. But it's traveling pretty far. No warping on the blade. Kind of a precise angle to be able to see that. And the handle is still nice and secure. Definitely would not hack wood with this one. It's not really intended for that. It's really intended more as a combat weapon and in our time and age and everything for tatami mats. All right, so check it out. If you're looking to purchase this Moro Laring or Laring, if you know the actual pronunciation, leave it in the comments below. Pretty cool blade, pretty exotic looking blade. Double thrust, double your pleasure, double your thrust when it comes to this blade. If you like this blade, go ahead and leave me a comment below what your favorite feature is on it, whether that be the handle, the actual positioning and style of the blade edge, or the double thrust. Leave me that in the comments below. As always, subscribe to the channel. A little bit over 5,000 subscribers right now, so thank you for that. I appreciate it. And let me know in the comments below what you want to see for tatami mats. Link in the description box below. As always, check that out. Subscribe. Talk to you soon.